come over here and I buy hamburgers, buns, tomato, cut lettuce, and some cheese. It's $32. I'm like, I can take you all to Chick-fil-A for this same price.
Correct.
It used to be it was cheaper to eat at home.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't seem like it anymore.
Yeah, you know, unfortunately, what I've noticed at least is that I lived in the DC area for a while. It seems like those DC prices have come down here now.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, I would buy 6 things and that was, you know, $60. I'm like, what the heck, man?
Can I ask you a question like this, Turner?
Mm-hmm.
It seems to me that when I turn, I'm just coiled really tight.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like he's kind of, I don't know.
Over rotating? Let's
It's-
get that ball a little bit up in our stance, big guy. Yep, there we go, just a smidge. Uh-huh.
Now it's right there. When you see that big gap,
Mm-hmm.
like when I stand from behind, he's got like a big gap in there.
Well,
Whereas it's like, you know, I don't know.
well, the one thing is that what starts to happen a little bit is if the ball starts creeping back, he starts to get his hip really back behind it so he can get behind it. So that's one thing that we talked about in the last session, right? Left knee went back behind that one right there. So what we want to kind of see here with the left knee, right, is what you're kind of talking about. If we see too much of a gap there, right, he's doing this, right, see where that knee is?
Yep.
But on that one right there, where the ball placement is, you can see that his left knee went, you know, behind the ball or towards the ball. So that's, you know, something I'm seeing that's might be a little inconsistent, right? But we do want to have the feeling is when I get back up over there, right, feeling like that left knee goes back, you know, towards the ball or in line with the ball.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's going to get our hip turn where it needs to kind of be. But if we do, right, get that ball too far back, right, that's going to be the motion. You see how that knee goes out and away?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's something that we want to kind of focus on right there. Okay, but you did a pretty good one on that last one, so. There you go. Good.
Grip look good?
Well, how's it feel? Does it feel strong?
Yeah.
Okay, good. You want to have that left hand dominating the backswing. Let's take a few videos. Any other questions, big guy? Anything else you kind of see or?
No, I happened to see a YouTube reel.
Uh-huh.
What happened to Will Zillatoris' back? And it showed his backswing, or I mean his whole swing. I see what you were saying, man.
Yeah.
Like, anyway, it reminded me of Thomas. You know how he said he would get that pain there?
Mm-hmm.
It looked to me like Zillatoris gets stuck a little bit, and he really dips down and then lifts up.
He does.
And I was like, damn.
Yeah, absolutely, he does. I mean, he's had to shorten up his driver. He's had to do a few other things, but that was his superpower. You know what I mean? They kind of took that superpower away from him, and I haven't really seen much of him on the tour. So, all right, big guy.
I switched to an 8-iron, by the way.
Okay,
Moved on a little.
very good.
And that one right there, I was hit him. I saw his foot do this. Right, instead of
Turning into it, right?
Yeah. Do it there too.
All right, let's take a look here. See what we can see here real quick. Come on
too far.
Yeah, way too far, right? Okay. See how that club is shut right there?
Mm-hmm.
Dead shut. Okay. So our face angle was a little close, so. Alright, and then. Okay, so once again, okay, getting that head to really drop down here, right? So what we want to kind of have the feeling of, right, is I need your head to kind of stay more on the line. Okay, so if I drew a line right here, okay, so take a look at me. All right, if I put a line right here on your head, okay, as we turn back, you can see my head kind of turns, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then it kind of comes back into that line and goes.
Okay.
For you, you get on up over here and you're getting way too long, and then what happens is you really drop your head back over this way,
Okay.
and then we have to flip to get to the ball. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So just kind of go like this, okay? Give me a small swing, okay? Feel how your head's right there?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now let's come on down here. There you go, okay? That's going to help shorten up the swing a little bit. Yep, good, okay? Good, okay? So we don't want to have that head rotating so far back, right? If the head doesn't need to move, it shouldn't move. There you go. Does that feel different than what you're doing?
Yep.
Okay. And that's what we're looking for right there, okay? Head doesn't need to move so much. There you go. You see what we're doing there, Dad? Okay. So that's the big thing I see, and that's probably why you saw his foot going over, is that he's getting on over here and then he's from behind, right? So, okay. See how those arms are getting way out and away from us.
So, I don't know, that to me just doesn't, maybe that's what I look like, I just don't know it.
What's that? The
The hips, like,
okay.
I don't know, it's
Well, he's
it's a question, I guess, maybe it's not a problem at all, but like,
well, he's probably over rotating a little bit because we need to be right here. Okay. So if we're right here, we're good, but then we start to lift, and you see how everything
Yeah.
kind of comes back right there.
yeah.
Okay. And then we start to see the head traverse. All right. There's our big hook right there. See how we're coming in, just like this, and then we got to flip to get through it. Okay. And that's because that head's moving around way too much. And it's probably about time to towel them in now that we got a good grip. Okay. But this move has got to get out. Got to get that out. All right, that's just getting his elbow stuck and through. All right. Okay. But first things first, let's kind of work on that head movement. You're doing good. Okay. We're gonna kind of do some half swings here. Okay. I'm gonna kind of do this right here. Get this right here next to your head, big guy. Okay. Good. Good. One more time, my man. Good. Right. And if you kind of notice, it looks like he's shortening up his backswing because of that. Now that his head's not able to move away so much and get that lift that he's going for. Does that make sense? let's move that up in our setup. Okay, I want it uncomfortably up for us.
Mhm.
Okay, even more. Yep, yep, there we go. See, you can still get to that low point. See how you're still getting to your low point here?
Yeah.
Which is good, okay? So we don't need to have it so far back to get our low point,
Right.
okay? Your path is doing real good, face is getting wonky though,
Okay.
okay? That's what's going on right there. As far as what the numbers are telling us, okay?
So -5 means it's
Closed
closed or
5 degrees.
Yeah, it's closed. It's definitely closed.
so that's how it was open.
Open. Yeah, yeah.
I can't read that very well.
So we had just a little bit over the top and we kind of, face was open. Back to that old move. Got away with it. How's the putting and chipping coming along though too? It's not just about the golf swing, right?
So I played at St. Leo, the Abbey course, and the greens were like bare. So-
I can only imagine.
There was one hole where I had a 25-foot uphill putt, and I mean I did hit it too hard, but it went over and almost went off the green because it just wouldn't slow down. So putting was really bad. Some of it was definitely my fault, and chipping, you know, I can do a bump and run pretty consistently, but if I have to pitch it from like 20 yards out, I can barely get the ball in the air.
Let's take a look at our setup here. We've got JT.
I'm not getting my wrist set.
Alright, so you can kind of see where JT is here.
Yep.
Alright, so he's getting a wrist set just a little bit.
Look at the difference in our head position.
Mm-hmm. Alright, so that's that reverse pivot that we've been trying to work out, right?
Yep.
Okay. Now this is what you kind of do. You're going to throw your head back to get back into position.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Alright, see how far back that head's gone
Yep.
for us, right? So if we look at JT here, okay. Alright, if I just put a line right here on his head, okay, and I'll put a line on your head. As we move through here, right? Right, this is what we were just talking about a minute ago, right? See how he keeps his head kind of on that line? He's turning his bill cap a little bit away. You're
Yeah.
kind of getting into it, right? And then you really, you throw everything back behind it as you come through. Now he gets just a little bit ahead there, but then he moves it back. Right, but see, just kind of hangs on that line a little bit. You've got way too much space here, right?
Yep.
Which is going to allow this right elbow to get stuck behind us. If we can
Mhm.
keep that head there, then we're going to keep those arms and chest moving in the right direction.
Okay.
Okay. Now, once again, as you said here, right, you can see that wrist hinge. You start to get it there, okay? But it's not really matching up with your shoulders. And that's about where we need to kind of stop right there.
Yeah.
Okay. See how you kind of get that lift right there?
Yep.
Okay. And that's because the arms and hands have kind of started away, right? They haven't set. We're about a quarter of a turn with our shoulders. Half turn there. We're trying to catch up where club chop should be a little bit more up for us, just a bit. All right. And then we're over rotating here. Okay.
Okay.
You see how much more of the left shoulder I'm seeing? I should just see just a sliver of it,
Mhm.
okay? But we're really over rotating here. So you can see just what the old man was talking about. See how the hip is over rotated here?
Yeah.
That's because we've over rotated our shoulders and we had a lift,
Okay.
okay? Does that make sense, big guy?
Yep.
Okay. So, big thing is what we want to kind of practice is get like an alignment stick or something like that, or something right there to get to our head, and try to keep our head hanging on that line a little bit better so we can start moving through. Okay?
Yep.
Any questions there, big guy? All right.
Hey. Starting to do that.
Okay.
Let's take away.
I want to take a look down the line and see how our hand path is doing, and if it's getting up and away on the takeaway. All right. So when you have time and rate that's proper for you, jump on in there and hit a ball. Good. All right, let's take a look at our hand path here just a little bit. Take a look at a few things. So, once again, okay, I'd like to see a little reach with the hands. You see how they're kind of down here a little bit?
Yeah.
You see where, if I drew a line underneath your chin,
Yep.
right, and I drew a line underneath his chin, see how his hands get there?
Yep.
Okay, so the hands are probably just a little bit too far in to start off with,
Okay.
okay, for a setup position. All right. Let's kind of do this. Hands up. Just kind of see that on here. All right, so hands kind of get out the way just a little bit, and that's probably because they're not in the right position. Does that
Okay.
make sense?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay, so if we had them underneath the chin just a little bit, just a slight reach with the shoulders, that would help just a little bit. Okay. Good. All right. Now this isn't typically the issue that I have with a lot of players, right? You see how your hands are really inside the line there?
Mhm.
Okay? Right, we can see with JT over here that the hands get just a little bit over the plane, just a little bit.
Okay.
Okay? And that's kind of where he gets his little over the top move. But typically what we want to kind of have is those hands kind of return as close as they can to that line,
Yeah.
right? Maybe just a little bit over. For most players, it's a little bit over. I don't see too many under the line, okay? And that's because they don't want to get stuck. You see how the elbow is going to be kind of more out in front of us?
Yep.
Right there. Right here, if we get our hands too far in, then that elbow is stuck where it needs to be.
Yeah.
All right, and now we can see that head's kind of worked back and away. Let me see how we're doing any early extension here. All right, so once again, we come to another crux. All right, watch how that hip thrusts forward, and then you drop the hands down.
Yeah.
Okay. And I think that all starts with the head movement and all that stuff. Now, the good thing is that even with these faults and flaws, right, we're still shooting a pretty good score.
Yeah.
Okay, so the club's getting a little bit too laid off, as you can see. Okay, I'd like to see that club just a little bit more right? In this position.
Yeah.
Right
Okay.
up there. All right, you can see where his face is. You see how that toe is going straight down our target line?
Mm-hmm.
Yours is back over here. It's really shot.
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna come on through and okay. So let's start off with this. Just feel like you got a little bit of a reach with your hands. Okay. There you go. Good. Right. So instead of it being like here, right, feel like you got just a little bit of a shoulder. Right, there you go. Now you're in a good position right there as far as your hands go. Okay.
Yeah.
Right, there you go. Okay, so as we kind of start here, let's go here. All right, so I think that might be one little issue there too. Let's do this. Set up for me, big guy.
Yep.
All right, so I'm just going to kind of move your hands here, okay? Tell me if this feels different.
A little bit.
Okay, good. Good job, just a little bit. Good. All right, see how that club face starts off pretty good?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Does that start to make sense a little bit?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so here we go once again. Pushing it back. There we go. Okay. Now let's turn on up to the top. That's it. Okay. That's where we need to kind of be. Okay. It may feel very short to you, okay, but we've got our club in a good position, right? The toe's in a good position right now. The shaft is in a better position, what we're trying to go for, right? And from right there, I just want you to, I'm going to get out of your way. From this position, I want you to swing on down and through for me, okay? Okay. Once again. Okay. Going over here. Yeah. Okay. Good. Okay. Good position. Swing down and through for me. Okay. Let's do it one more time. Keep going for this feel. Okay. Very good. Okay. Up. Good. Down and through. Okay. Now let me ask you, does it feel shorter?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it feels taller instead of being way out here.
Good, good. That's great to hear. Now, my big thing is, does it feel like it's a little bit faster at the bottom for you now?
Yeah.
Okay, okay. All right, because now we don't have that loop where we're trying to catch things up. Does that make sense? All right, so here we go once again. Uh-huh, good. Up to the top for me. Good. Okay. One more time for me, man. Okay. So once again, good. Uh-huh, up to the top. Right. Where's your elbow feel like it's at now?
More tucked in.
Okay, good, good. We don't need that getting back too far, right?
Yep.
And stuff like that. Okay. Just try to repeat that movement pattern for a minute, okay? That feel the same?
Not exactly, but
Okay.
close.
We look like we got a little long with it, okay?
Okay.
So, once again, get up to the top and stop for me. There you go. Okay. So you can see that the club's more over your shoulder than behind your
Yeah.
shoulder, right? And that's kind of more what we want to kind of feel. If I said, hey, I want you to throw a thing of water, right? You wouldn't throw it like this, right? You'd probably throw it like this. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So right now you're getting to the point where it's like you get here and you're throwing it back over here. Okay. So we want to kind of feel if I took a big jug of water over my right shoulder a little bit more. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So what we're going to do now is, now that we've got the grip in a good position, we're going to try to get ourselves toweled in here a little bit. All right, so let's put those underneath our arms. Very good. Okay, so going to have a little slight reach with the club, just a little bit, right? Getting those hands underneath our chin.
Yep.
Okay. Feel that wrist hinge of where it needs to be. Right? There you go. Good. Now come down and through. Good. Now this should always be like a 3/4 swing.
Yeah.
Okay? We're not going full swing here, okay? What we're trying to do is get your chest and arms to work together, right? And not get them separated at the top. Right? That's what kind of happens for us. Okay. Once again. Once again, sit up for me. Over here a little bit. You're still getting back on over
Okay.
here, just a little bit, okay? All right, just a 3/4, half swing, whatever feels comfortable, but we're just trying to get those arms and chest to match up and not get away. Okay, better. All right, it's 3/4 swing. Just a 3/4 swing. We're not trying to kill it. We're just trying to match things up. Good. One more. And then we're going to try to hit 3 balls, okay? Trying to get this feel. Yeah, there we go. All right, let's do 3 balls here. Okay, we're not trying to kill it. We're not trying to go for performance. We're just trying to go for technique and feel right now, okay?
Yep.
Good. Performance.
Ever since we bought the wrist thing,
Mm-hmm.
all these training aids are showing up in my Facebook feed now. There must be 10 companies that have that band.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
And that
it looks like it might be kind of a good idea, but like, I don't know.
there's a swing shirt I've seen.
There's the true swing and the swing band.
Oh, yeah, man, they've got it all. Give me one more, big guy. Okay. Let's take a look at this guy, okay? See how we're doing. Okay, see how you're still getting that a little laid off?
Yeah.
Okay. So but at least now we're getting that elbow to stay in where it needs to be, a little bit better. Okay. All right, let's try to go with a feel here a little bit. So
Okay.
go ahead and set up for me, big guy.
Yep. Towel.
Yeah, please. Good. So as we kind of come back here. Okay. Good. There. Okay. How are we doing there? Good. All right, so I'd much rather see you here than getting on over here.
Okay.
Okay. So we just need to kind of feel like that's going upright. So feel like it's going straight up in the air for us, okay? 3/4 swing. Just give me a couple. Yeah, better. Okay. Okay, good. Now just come down and through for me
Okay.
slowly, okay? Uh-huh. Good. One more time for me, please. Okay. All right, you're doing all right. Here we go. So, there we go. You're still getting it just a little bit over here, okay?
Okay.
All right. That's good. So it's good. Okay, cool. So, let me do this to you. All right. So I'm going to put a ball in front of you. Okay.
Yep.
Put the ball there in front of you. All right. So what I'm going to kind of do is I'm going to put this ball just a little bit to the inside for you. Okay. Step over here just for a second. Go here. Go ahead, set up. Okay, so get just a little bit. So go ahead. We're not going to hit it, but I want you to push that ball back. Good. See where we're at there?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Once again. Good. Just push that ball back. There you go. Okay. Feel the hands and wrists setting together.
Yep.
Okay. Okay. There you go. That's the speed that we want to be taking those hands back at.
Yeah.
Okay. There you go. Okay. Much better. Okay. Big thing is that we're trying to keep that face square to our target line and not get so closed at the top. Okay. Okay. Just going for a feel. Right. Now the big thing is, you see how gentle that ball's going back now?
Mm-hmm.
That's good. Okay, we don't want to have those hands rushing back on us, right? Where they start getting out in the way again. Okay. There you go. All right. So what I'm going to have you do now is we're going to push the ball back, okay? And we're just going to kind of come through and make contact with the other ball, okay?
Okay.
I need to get you a bigger towel.
I know.
There you go. So, worry about that. Once again. Probably the nicest ball in the bucket.
I'll do my best.
I'm just saying. These balls are getting a little thin.
There we go.
So let's try to come on in here and see if we can get this to work for us on the track, man, okay?
All right.
All right, set up for me. Are you starting to notice a little difference? What are you starting to feel?
I just feel more upright.
Okay, that's a good thing, right? Because we're so laid off with the club face shut at the top, right? So just give me a small swing. Let's get a feel for it. Once again. Just go to the end. see how we're doing here.
Setup looks better.
Yeah. All right, we got the hands in a much better position, right? See how it's matching up with the shaft line now?
Yep.
Good.
It's crazy. It feels so different even though I'm doing like the same thing.
All right. So set up for me. Don't worry about the towel.
Yep.
Good. All right. Up to the top and stop for me, please. Good. Okay. Now we got to have the feeling instead of it going like this,
Mm-hmm.
right? Here, down, right?
Yeah.
Good. Down. Down. Okay. Down. Okay. Down. Up to the top and stop for me. Uh-huh. Pull down. Yes. One more time. Up to the top and stop. Uh-huh. It's okay. Pull down. Okay, good. Yep. You're good. Good. Pull down again. There you go. Uh-huh. All right. Good. You feel what we're trying to get you to
Yep.
do, right? I want you to kind of feel like we're getting that club in front of our chest again, right? Instead of getting back over here,
Yeah.
okay? Just focus on pulling that thing down for me, okay? I want you to fade this ball for me,
Okay.
right? I want you to give me a fade.
Not quite.
Not quite, right? Come on over here. Let's just try to work on the face a little bit. Okay. So I'm gonna get this impact. Let's get this guy on.
Yep.
Okay. So what I want you to kind of practice here just for a sec, okay, is I want us to kind of get a feeling, right? This is gonna be an opposite feeling of what we're doing, right? Right now we're getting that toe like this, rapidly closing, right? I want us to kind of feel just some half swings where we're getting the heel into the ball.
Okay.
Okay, just start getting a feeling of our forearms not rotating so hard as we come through or having that shut club face. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so heel into the bag. Don't kill yourself.
Yep.
Okay? We're just trying to get a feel here, okay? All right, so we don't need to have the hands so far forward, just like that, okay?
Okay.
All right, good. Good. Good, there we go. Good. One more time. Okay. Give me that same kind of swing. Okay, we're just trying to get that face to stay a little bit open and not so closed. Okay. It's fine. It's a change. One more time for me, big guy. All right. So let's slowly start closing up the ball. Closing up the face just a little bit. Small swing. All right. Don't care where it goes. We're just trying to get that face angle to work for us a little bit. Okay.
Yep. go.
Okay. Okay, we don't need to rapidly shut that club face, okay?
At least I'm not shanking it anymore.
No, no, moving in the other direction. That's good.
Literally.
Okay, good. So,
It's very hard to go from one extreme back to the middle. Go from one extreme to the other.
mm-hmm.
You can find the middle.
There we go. Okay, that's fine. Okay, that's starting to get better to where we need to be, at least with the face at the bottom. Okay. Okay, move that ball up in our setup. There you go. I want to take a look at that guy real quick.
Okay.
Just want to see where the face was at the top. Okay, better job with the hand pat, staying closer to where we want it to be. Aha! Look. Look where
So
that
much
was.
better.
So much better, right? It's going to take time. All right, so we need to get the feeling of stopping right about here.
Yeah.
Okay, and then the big thing is we got to feel like we're pulling it down or getting the butt of the club going back down towards the ball. Okay. Now we still have a little bit of this
Yeah.
back behind us, right? That's where that face starts to get wonky on us. Okay. All right, but as far as the back is concerned, right, that's where we want to kind of stop right there.
Yep.
That's a good position right there. So I'm sure if I look face on here, this is probably where the head's going back and dipping behind us a little bit. Okay. See how it's kind of going down and forward just a little bit.
Yeah.
Get stuck just a little bit. Okay, but the back swing up there is starting to look a lot better, okay? There you go, just move it in front of you, okay?